Hello, this is my combine drawing. I had something as a vertical diesel four-cylinder, and I made a generic generator set for it, and some of them aren't been done yet. I did draw, well, such as it would have a hydraulic hose line, kind of like a gas station, with different setups for that hook up to the pistons here, and maybe there'll be a piston up here so it pushes that down. But anyways, that would be a side job for the hydraulic pressure. But other than that, we have drawn our auger with our also with the bucket extension. And then over here is the gear belt. This has been explained in a different video. This isn't really needed, but I had to edit it out of the other drawing. Anyways, here's the combine. I'll take there's the office, has, two pistons in the back, so it kind of works like a left and right hand, piston. So there's going to be a hose connected up to here that turn it left or right, and that's on a swivel, and it moves on the offset here. And there's the kingpin, and it rockers around so you get right and left motion. And then there's a gear, and then I'll show you the bottom. Alright, the bottom has a offset wheel to the left. And over here is the main generator with the gear sets. This is a side bolster that holds the wing, like in a truck. And there, like I have bearing journal for that, but it's in my traction motor. The traction motors, and the wheel bearing journal are on a different drawing, and in my train drawings. So what you have here is you have an independent wheel that's offset to the side, and then it moves on a ring, this ring right here, which is also carried out to here. There's four different pins here. So when you make a left, it swings out, like, and this wheel becomes forward because this one's tangent because of the traction motor. So this one just spins. And then in the back, you have your pistons to the left or right, and then the kingpin, which swivels it. So when it chokes to this way, it stops at a certain part here. Here's the gear. This is geared and that's geared, so it mates, and you don't have so quick of a turn. So there'd be pistons here, left and right, kind of like on a lawnmower with like a pod racer kind of thing, and then a throttle switch, and then a knife switch that breaks, a little door switch, kind of like your door, and that knife switch shuts off the electric to the traction motor to stop the traction. And then over here is, we'll take a look at the side view, and then we'll do a cross section of it. Let me dock that over here. So here's the middle of that. We have a radiator fan, a generator, and then we have the lateral motor that I built. It's a four-cylinder diesel motor. Turns the generator. You can see the lateral vertical motor in other parts. I was going to use the same one. I use this same one here that's highlighted in orange in my locomotive drawings, but it was way too tall with the hydraulic generator, so the generator just goes down here. So the sides are packed if you watch the lateral video. So we're looking at a fuel tank and hoses for the hydraulics, and in the cab you'd have a switch, and that's how that works. Over here you have an auger, different video, bucket, different pins come unhooked, then you're back to the auger, and then this is a thing. So actually, over here would be if I wanted to make another dog bone to the side over there. That's how I would do it. I couldn't touch these when assembling them because they were two different drawings and they're both complex. So if I touched it and mated these perfectly together, um, the computer would crash because that's like 200 different rows here, and so that's the combine. On the left, you see the wheel from the top, the generator, the back. So there's a combine and this has different. This is a different series, but it works. I developed this. The belts, this little key right here, locks it in belts. There's a belt that keeps it from moving back the bone, and then over here you have the belt to the auger. These are traction motors. I could have done them a little bigger, but like I said, the traction motor is kind of the same thing off my locomotive drawing, but but this is broken, so there's one for the gears and one for the belt. And that's the first look at my combine. Okay.